I am hungry.
How hungry?
Well, I could eat anything.
Anything?
Yeah, I guess. Why are you asking so much?
What about your own tail?
Yeah, I could do that.
But will you?
Ladies, gentlemen, and monsters of all ages,
We need to have a chat about Deviljho. Recently, the Monster Hunter community has begun to question something that has previously just been considered a straight-up fact. Deviljho will eat his own tail if you cut it off, and he's hungry. Now, we're all sure that this doesn't happen in World or Iceborne. We know this because Deviljho definitely just doesn't do it there. There are enough players playing this game consistently, and sharing clips is easy enough on those systems that if he did it now in the 5th generation, we would definitely know. But we know for a fact that he doesn't. That said, in prior generations, it was just considered a fact by everyone that Deviljho had a rare interaction where he would eat his own tail if he was hungry and it was severed in the same zone. But recently, people have begun to question this. We have all seen Deviljho eat the corpses of other monsters. He'll often just show up in his zone after a quest timer is finished to just chow down on creatures that you've already killed. But what about his own tail? We all know he can do this, right? But can he? This all came up a few days ago when at Van Dino, a main contributor to the Monster Hunter wiki, asked the question, does anyone have any clips of Deviljho eating its own tail? It seemed like it would be a simple question, a harmless proposition, and as the days have passed, there has not been even one genuine clip of Deviljho eating his own tail. It is leaving the community in absolute shambles. I mean, even me, myself, if you had asked me before, I would say yes, he definitely does it. I have no doubt about it. At least that was my answer a couple of weeks ago. Now, I am really not so sure. And so it seems like we've all undergone this massive collective Mandela effect. If you don't know, the Mandela effect is when a large group of people share the same false memory. A good example is Pikachu, the Pokemon. Think about its tail, picture it in your head, imagine it. Does it have a black tip, or is it just solid yellow? Many people will say that it has the black tip, but it doesn't, and it never has in any iteration of Pikachu. Solid yellow tail just the whole way through, and learning this knowledge really messes with some people. Back on the topic at hand then, does Deviljho eat his tail? Well, since seeing this become an actual question within the community, I've been doing some research, trolling through old forum posts and trying to find just any proof that I could possibly gather of Deviljho eating his own tail. All it takes is one clip, one little video clip showing the proof to make it an indisputable fact, and here it is. Jokes aside, here it actually is. Except, look at this. Watch it carefully. Look at the tail half a moment before Joe is done eating and look at it immediately after. There is the slightest hint of a difference here. This little white knob that disappears after he's done eating. What could that be? Well, you may have guessed it. It is the bone of the raw meat item that you can place on the floor. It is an absolutely confirmed fact that Deviljho will eat any meat item that you place down. It's just part of his design. And, well, literally every single clip I can find of someone trying to show Joe eating his own tail has one of two things. Either there is a piece of meat hiding under the tail, or he is doing a pin attack on a hunter who just happens to be standing on the tail. Not one single clip of Deviljho actually eating his tail. Here is a 12-year-old forum post from GameFAQs asking a simple question. Is it true that Deviljho will eat his own tail? And the first response is, nice try, as if they're trying to pull something over on people. Then the second one is, yes, make sure to hide a tainted/drugged meat inside his tail first. In other words, even that far back in time, people were just hiding meat in Joe's tail to make it look like he ate it, confusing other people in multiplayer hunts, and at this point, I've just about come to a proper conclusion. Deviljho does not eat his own tail. There is just not one proper example of it actually happening. Only people faking it with meat or pins, and thousands upon thousands of people saying that they have seen him do it, but not a single person able to provide actual video evidence of it. On another tweet from @DepravedVile on the subject, we have a response from someone mentioning a clip from an actual Capcom USA YouTube channel video wherein an actual Capcom employee makes this statement.
For some other monsters, if they see you place it, or if they're not in the right mood, or if it's not like Tuesday, they're not going to eat the meat. Deviljho will always eat the meat. He will eat your poisonous meat. He will eat other monsters that are dead. He will eat captured monsters. He will eat his own tail.
Wow.
He will eat his own tail. He will eat his own tail.
Yes, it is straight up stated that he will eat his own tail. The community is convinced that he eats his own tail. The information was so well accepted just all over that it was even on Deviljho's wiki page for years and years, and yet here we are today, unable to find a single shred of proper evidence. Thousands upon thousands of people saying that they swear that they've seen him do it, and not even one person able to produce a 10-second video clip showing it. Many people have even said that they would go back and get one, launch up an old game and record it, but a lot of the people that said that said it a week ago, with absolutely no follow-up. A whole week for a lot of people trying to find this. Not one person has been able to find or create a genuine clip of Deviljho eating his tail in any Monster Hunter game. With that said, I think at this point we can genuinely just state as a fact, Deviljho does not eat his own tail. You can put him in situations where it looks like that is what he is doing, and it will confuse other people in a multiplayer hunt if they didn't see it set up the whole trick, but he will not directly eat his tail. You may be getting upset at this point. You may even be yelling at your screen, "No, I know he does it, and I have seen it." Well, I have one thing to say to that. Either provide video proof of the fact that he does it, that indisputably does not have meat under it, or accept the fact that you, like me and thousands of other hunters, have just been tricked into believing that Deviljho eating his tail was a fact for over a decade. It's hard to accept, I know, but it happens to the best of us. So what does this all mean then? Well, it's sort of just a silly but terrifying revelation. I mean, it's Deviljho, one of the most beloved monsters in this series, one that everyone knows and one that we've all seen loads of over the years. I mean, he is probably the most invasive invader ever added to the series. If he isn't the target of your hunt more often than not, he will show up in your hunt anyways. We have all seen hundreds, if not thousands of Deviljho each, and the vast majority of us had decided that him eating his tail was just a fact. And yet, it seems as though we were all wrong. Thousands upon thousands of us, each fighting hundreds of Deviljho by ourselves, and yet we all wound up believing something that seems to be just simply false. Deviljho does not eat its tail. It just doesn't happen. There is no proof at all that he actually does it without meat fakes, and so we all just have to either accept this as a fact or keep searching endlessly, keep looking and trying our hardest to make the proof ourselves. Don't get me wrong, I want it to be true because I believe this. It makes sense to me, and before all of this, I could have sworn that it was true without any second guessing. So if any of you in the comments can genuinely point me to absolute undoubtable proof that Deviljho does eat his tail, I will eat my shorts on this one happily. But from everything that I can see, all the research that I've done, he just doesn't do it. We have all been wrong for years, spreading misinformation further and further as every time that we tell someone that he does it. It is sort of mind-blowing. I mean, even an official Capcom source claimed that Deviljho eats his tail, but hey, maybe that was just a lore comment, you know, rather than something actually reflected in the game. I know that it's hard to accept, but moving forward, maybe we all just have to let it go. Who knows, maybe in a future Monster Hunter game, Deviljho will return and maybe they'll update him to actually eat his tail within the game, but as it stands, there is just no actual proof that this was ever a thing. I can't handle it, honestly, but I'm doing my best not to let it absolutely ruin me. How crazy is it though, that just the vast majority of the player base, just thousands, maybe even more than 1 million hunters, fully believed that this was a fact, no doubt in our minds, and now it has suddenly all been called into question. I hope you've enjoyed this just terrible revelation, and if you think that you can genuinely prove otherwise, please point me towards the answer, but as it stands, I think we are ready to confirm that Deviljho just simply does not eat its own tail. Like if you like the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, try not to let this destroy you, and stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.